Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are all doing really well. So this video is a couple of weeks late. I meant to film my pile of possibilities for October a couple of weeks ago, but some things have happened and I was just super busy. So this is a little bit late, so we're going to talk about my current reads and the other books that I would like to pick up this month. Of course, like I said, it's Pile of Possibilities. I don't do TBRs anymore. So might pick up some of these, might not, might read something else. But the most important thing is that for October this year, I'm doing a witches theme. So over the summer, we did ghosts. For September, we did vampires for Vamptember, and now we're moving on to witches. So really super excited to pick up some of these witchy reads, but I'm going to jump into a few announcements first, and then we'll get into the pile of possibilities. So this is total gremlin mode video today. No makeup. I still have my jammies on, so I have my Woodsboro shirt and my ghost face pajama pants on still. It's super cold here. We had a little bit of snow yesterday, so I'll just insert a bit of a video that I had on my Instagram. We did have a sprinkle of snow. It's super cold. It's about a -8 or so right now. We have a fire going upstairs. I have the heater going down here, and Matthew is changing the tires on the car over for our snow tires. And I am drinking a sour apple Ghost energy drink. So Ghost is my favorite type of energy drink. So we're going to make sure that this gremlin is caffeinated, and we're going to talk about the witchy reads for October. So like I said, I'm a little bit behind on recording videos because a couple weeks ago, Matthew and I had a weekend where we were at a lot of events. We went to an afternoon tea, which is about an hour's drive from here. And then the following day, we actually went back down that way because we were at a seance. And so that took up most of the weekend. Sunday, I was super tired because it was way past my bedtime when we were at the event. And then last weekend, we had some firewood arrive. So we had to stack up our garage. So my mom was helping my husband do that, and my dad and I decided to paint the library. So the library is now almost completely painted. I just have to do the stairwell, or part of the stairwell is left, but it is very purple in here, and I love it. And while we were doing it, we weren't planning on doing this, but we also bolted my shelves to the walls because I gotta say, like, especially with double stacking the books, they were getting a little wobbly. So we just kind of had them shimmed. So we have them all bolted to the wall. So I have a little bit more that I want to do in here before I do like a new library tour. But I'm really happy with how it turned out. And then this past week, Matthew and I were both down with a stomach bug. It was a really nasty one. I had to take some time off work. Matthew was off work for like 2.5 days. And yeah, so it's just been bang, one thing after another. So like I said, video's a little bit late. We're gonna make sure I'm caffeinated. Did I already say this is a sour apple Ghost? When I have these early in the morning at work, my coworker, who's very British, always says, "Why do you hate yourself so much?" But they're just so good, but very sour. Okay, so let's talk about some witchy reads. So currently, right now, I am working on, finally, Slewfoot by Brom. I'm only a couple of chapters in, but already I'm really enjoying this one. Here's the cover. Of course, most of you guys know Slewfoot. And I've had this book for several years now, and I didn't even realize how beautiful the end papers are on this book. Isn't that gorgeous? So this is a beautiful book. I'm really glad that I do have it in physical copy. It's one that I am going to keep for the library because the illustrations are just gorgeous in here. I could read it on audio, but I really did want to have the physical copy of this one. So this very much has the kind of Witch of Blackbird Pond sort of feel here at the beginning. Like I said, I'm not very far into it yet. So just really quickly from the synopsis on the front flap here. An ancient spirit awakens in a dark wood. The wild folk call him father, slayer, protector. The colonists call him Slewfoot, demon, devil. To Abatha, a recently widowed outcast, alone and vulnerable in her pious village, he is the only one she can turn to for help. So that's all I wanted to know about that. You know, I'm starting to read a little bit less of synopses going into books, and I'm not watching movie trailers anymore before I watch movies. So that's been really something that's new for me, but I don't want to give away too much of the book or movie that I'm watching before I go into it. So that's really, really great. Really enjoying that one. And then I just started this one last night, and I'm going to continue it on my walk today. If you're not following me on Instagram, of course, I've been doing daily walks. I think I mentioned it here before. That's really been helping with my recovery after my surgery. So I started that kind of at the beginning of September. And now I find, of course, if I don't go for my walk, there's something missing out of my day. So this one, The Lighthouse Witches by C.J. Cook. So it says, when single mother Liv is commissioned to paint a mural in a 100-year-old lighthouse on a remote Scottish island, it's an opportunity to start over with her 3 daughters, Luna, Sapphire, and Clover. When 2 of her daughters go missing, she's frantic. She learns that the cave beneath the lighthouse was once a prison for women accused of witchcraft. The locals warn her about the wildlings, supernatural beings who mimic human children, created by witches for revenge. Liv is told wildlings are dangerous and must be killed. So it does go on for the rest of the story, but that's all I wanted to read from this one. So I have actually read a little bit about the Scottish witches and the Scottish witch trials already this year, and you know, as bad as Salem was, Scotland was absolutely brutal for the witch trials. So I thought this one sounded really, really good. So I did pick 3 of these up. So off my ghosty shelves, I do have ghosts, werewolves, witches, and vampires. So I might read the witches selections out of this one. We have haunted Halloween stories, so not within sort of the witches theme, but I did want to read some just Halloween stuff as well. So I was looking for this one for years and years to put as part of my ghosty shelf, and my friend Andrew sent me a copy. And then the last one is Halloween trivia, which I thought would be really, really fun. So not planning, like I said, on reading all of these, but I thought I could read some selections out of this one and then pick one of these 2 to put into my TBR. Then we have, so you might have seen this one in a recent haul of mine. This is called The Basement by Barry Wood, and this one sounds so good. So it's about this woman who buys a house and she's renovating it, and we all know that renovations to houses can stir up some things. So it says, Myra Ludens is a sweet, shy Connecticut housewife who seems to have the picture perfect life. Old family money, beautiful house, devoted husband, and an intimate circle of friends. And then she finds out that in her basement, through research, the history of the house, and discovers that a woman named Goody Redmond was hanged for witchcraft in the 17th century and buried on her land. Myra is convinced that she's being haunted by the woman's spirit. So this sounds really, really good. So it kind of has the Conjuring kind of vibes in this, and I am planning on watching The Conjuring this month as well. So I really need to get back to posting on my other channel, Movie Milestones. The link is down below. I really do need to get back to posting over there, and I do want to do my Halloween watch list as well. And then I did want to pick some short books that are very cutesy. They're very light because spooky season, of course, we have a lot of events we like to go to. It's really super busy, and it is a really busy time during my adult job as well. So out of these ones, I wanted to pick at least one. So we have A Mary Downinghan, which I did read A Mary Downinghan during my ghosty books. So I have The Time of the Witch. Does Laura dare accept a favor from a witch? So I love this cover. It has this old lady with a crow, and on my walks lately I've been feeding crows peanuts, and they follow me along in the trees, which is super fun. So it says, it is the middle of the night and suddenly Laura is awake, trembling with fear. Just beneath her bedroom window, a strange looking old woman is standing in the moonlight. A big black crow is perched on her shoulder, and she's looking up, staring back at Laura. So sounds super, super spooky. And then we also have this one. This one is by Carol H. Behrman. the Lancaster witch. So we have these two kids on the front with this sort of witch ghost in the background. And it says, by the time Maddie learns the truth about her brother's cousin, they are both in a life and death race against the clock. To win, they must stop events that started hundreds of years ago, events that trace their spine-tingling history to the Lancaster witch. And then, actually I'll do this one first. So I did pick up one out of the Babysitter's Little Sister, and this is Karen's Little Witch, and it says, now there are two witches living next door to Karen. So I used to love the Babysitter's Little Sister books when I was growing up. It's super short. The type is like really, really big, so you can sit down and read this kind of in an afternoon with a cup of coffee. And then I also put this one in there, not witches themed, but the jack-o'-lantern that ate my brother. This is an Apple paperback, and I thought it would be super cute and super fun for spooky season. So kind of out of these smaller paperbacks, I wanted to pick kind of one or two to put in there to balance out kind of the bigger adult reads. And then I did put this one back in. I think I've had it at least once in my pile of possibilities for this year, but I haven't gotten to it. So this is by Vivian Vandeveld, Curses, Ink, and Other Stories. So this is a collection of short stories, which I find perfect for this time of year. So we have the old witch here at her computer. Her cat is kind of going up after the mouse. There's some candles and an old library in the background. So I thought some short stories would be fantastic to put in here as well. Like I said, this has been on my list for, I don't know, at least one or two other times. So really wanted to get to at least a few selections in this one. So I wanted to have some Halloween reads, but I also wanted to have my fictional witch reads, both kids and adult books. And then I wanted to put at least one nonfiction in here. So this is one of my favorite books of all time. It is out of print now, unfortunately. It's super hard to find. But it's Witches, Druids, and King Arthur by Ronald Hutton, who is one of my favorite historians, and he has a lot of books on like UK witches and druidry and old kind of folk magic and that sort of thing. I love the image on the front of this, and I've read this book at least once before, I think twice. It is very long though, and it can be a little bit dry, so we'll see if we get to this one, but I wanted to put at least one nonfiction in there, and we'll see if we can get to it. Then last but not least, for my witchy books, so this book holds such a special place for me, and the fact that I own it now holds even more of a special place, because I had this book growing up and it either got water damaged or we sold it, and it was one of those things that like I wish I still had from my childhood. And then I remember I was watching Cameron Chaney's either his channel or his Patreon, one of his Patreon videos, and he was like, oh hey, I picked up this little book, it looks super cute. And like I actually started crying when I saw it, because I was like, this is such an integral part of my childhood. So it's the Little Witches Black Magic Cookbook by Linda Glovach. And when I said that, Cameron actually packaged it up, and along with a couple of other books, and sent it all the way to Canada so I could have it for my collection. And both of these things, the fact that it was such an integral part of my childhood, and also the whole interaction with Cameron and that he sent it to me for my library, just means so much. The other thing is that it's a book full of recipes, and I thought it would be really cute if I could take a couple of the recipes out of here and make during spooky season and maybe film it. There's a couple of things that Matthew and I are doing over October. It is very, very scaled back. You probably have noticed that there hasn't been any Halloween hauls or anything this year on the channel, and that's because we're concentrating a little bit more on the house and getting house projects done. But I did want to do at least one vlog for spooky season, and I thought it would be super cute to take a couple of the recipes out of here. So just because it's super adorable. The introduction, it says, this cookbook for little witches is also for little boys. The recipes are easy and not very fancy, so don't worry if you make a mistake here and there. If the chicken should get soggy when you're making chicken cones, or your secret spell birthday cake topples over, that's okay. These are special Little Witch formulas and they will taste delicious anyway. After you've read the Little Witch's code a few times, you will be ready to start cooking. Be sure to keep a sponge handy in case you have to wipe up something in a hurry. And it's all illustrated. It's super cute. And like I said, I thought it would be a lot of fun to make some of the little recipes in here, and like it gives all the little instructions and stuff too. And I remember sitting down as a kid and making some of these recipes, and even now I love to cook and bake and all the things. So that was a very long-winded story about this book. I thought it would be super cute to make some of the recipes and film them and put them up for spooky season. So there you go. That's everything I'm planning on reading this month. Some of them I've already started, and some of them we'll see which ones I decide to put in, and then we'll do a wrap up towards the end of spooky season. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, give me a thumbs up and leave me a question or a comment down below, because you know I love chatting with you guys. But until next time, stay spooky everybody. Bye.